Thank you. Yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? Okay, so Bitcoin surprisingly holding kind of strong right now. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought for sure that we would have, at the start of this candle, I thought for sure we would have worked our way down to test support at 87,257, but not yet. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Let's get into the super chats here. Isaac, my dude, what's up, buddy? Hope all is well, man. All is good in the hood. I feel good. I feel bullish. Lick of tongues in the house. My dude, Big Mike, what's up, brother? Big Rob, your research is highly appreciated. Just always remember, it's entirely impossible to please everybody, brother. You're absolutely right, my friend. Thank you so much, man, for always having my back, Big Mike. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, my guy. All right, guys. Yes, we started hoofing the negative people, and we're here to make money, right? Danny, what's up, my guy? Watching over on X. Yes, we are live streaming on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, on Facebook. It just doesn't stop, baby. I hit Gary Daly. What's happening? Yo-Yo Mars in the Heezy. What's going on, man? Ray says the first thing you should always do is smash the like button. It does not take long to do. Rob and this channel do a lot for us who knows the value of his information. Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much, Ray. I agree, man. It's absolutely free to hit the like button, and it's kind of weird when you refuse not to, right? Or when you refuse to. Yeah, that's how I meant to say it. It's kind of weird, right? Carlos, what's up, man? Do you see us coming down to 84 to 74 before some upside? Very, very possible, my guy. Very, very possible. Also, don't think I didn't notice Charizard in your photo. My guy, second Pokemon of the day. I think Bitcoin's going down. So is the altcoins. If that happens, DCA all the way, baby. Not financial advice. I agree, though. I agree. Richie Rich, my guy. What's happening, brother? Let's get those likes up. Yes, absolutely, guys. Ray says, in the short time that I've been a member of the Patreon, I've found and listened to information that is valuable in crypto. Absolutely, brother. We love having you there too, my guy. We love having you. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free to do. What do we have? We only have 63 people here. Holy smokes. It is a slow evening. My goodness. But we have 31 likes. That's pretty good considering there's only 63 people here. That's insane. I guess you guys are not used to me doing the evening live streams anymore. How do I know if I'm not cut out for crypto? Everything scares me all the time. I haven't panic sold, but mentally I'm wearing thin. Here's the thing, Quicksilver. Everyone's emotional in crypto. Everyone, right? It's what you do with those emotions that define whether crypto is cut out for you or not, right? If you're not panic selling, then you can feel all the feels you want, and it's absolutely fine, brother. Everyone's emotional. Everyone has emotions, even myself, someone who's been around for a very, very, very long time. So that's normal. Anyone who says they're not emotional in crypto is just lying straight up, right? It's how you conduct yourself that matters. Lord of the Realm in the house. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. All right, guys, let's dive right in. We're already caught up in the chat. Surprised there's so few people here this evening. Wow. Let's get into it then. Let's see what's going on. Choosy Beggar, DH, what's up, man? There's a ton of people with great crypto knowledge in the Patreon in addition to Rob. Ask questions. Yes, you're absolutely right. It takes a village. You're absolutely right. We have a lot of very, very intelligent people over in our Patreon community, guys. Definitely. I could not agree more with that. It's not all about me. It's not all about me. We have a phenomenal community. And guys, also right now, it's 50% off for new members. Check the link out in the chat, in the pinned comments. Senate drafts crypto market structure proposal. What the heck is this all about? A16Z discusses recent regulatory updates from the U.S. Senate, IRS, and SEC, focusing on market structure, staking guidance, and project crypto framework. The update from regulatory bodies could reshape market dynamics, affecting cryptocurrency stakeholders and possibly influencing token valuations. The U.S. Senate has introduced a draft proposal aimed at restructuring the crypto market. The initiative follows enhanced scrutiny and is expected to influence regulatory frameworks significantly, strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology initiatives. Key players include A16Z, IRS, and the SEC, each contributing to the evolving landscape. The proposal targets crypto taxation, market organization, and regulatory clarity. The draft has stirred mixed reactions from industry stakeholders. Anticipated changes could reshape digital asset management and compliance strategies within the crypto sector. Potential outcomes could include shifts in technological innovation and economic behavior. Stakeholders' feedback stems from previous SEC regulations and projected future impacts on crypto regulations. Comparisons have been drawn to the prior U.S. regulatory efforts in digital finance. Past attempts similarly aimed to align market dynamics with current technological trends. Experts suggest that this draft invites a detailed market evaluation leveraging historical data. The potential for aligning regulatory efforts with industry evolution remains pivotal. Mark Andreessen, co-founder of A16Z, stated, this kind of comprehensive overhaul is crucial to foster innovation and ensuring robust regulatory frameworks. Big things popping, little things stopping. Milk Money, what's going on, man? Happy Friday. Ready for open mic tonight? Yes, by the way, guys, it is open mic Friday night over on the Patreon as well. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's jump over to X and see what's going on over there this evening. Bitwise CIO says Bitcoin should be $200,000 by now.
There has been so much fundamentally positive news, and it's just been buried sort of in the background. We've caused ourselves to ignore it. There's the strategic Bitcoin reserve, there's the SEC pulling back on essentially every lawsuit. There's progress on stablecoin legislation. There's talk of market structure legislation. There was the White House Crypto Summit. These are game-changing positive developments that should put Bitcoin trading at $150,000 or $200,000 today. It's been suppressed because in the short term, this overhang of the economic uncertainty is weighing on the markets. I think if that is released, we're at new all-time highs quickly, and we're on our way to where I think we'll be at the end of the year, which is Bitcoin 200,000. So I think there's been this sort of suppression of really good news. If that suppression is removed, I think it's a coiled spring. So in that scenario, I think we do exceptionally well.
Is there anything else that needs to happen to get us to Bitcoin at 200K by the end of the year?
I don't think so. You have these three horsemen of insatiable demand for Bitcoin. You have the ETFs, which I continue to think will have strong net flows this year. You have companies. We saw MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. I think the number of companies buying Bitcoin is going to triple this year. I think the game theory is on. It's slower than people maybe want in this impatient crypto world, but I think countries around the world are going to be buying Bitcoin. So there's structurally more demand than supply in Bitcoin. I think all we need is to release this sort of economic gloom that's hanging over us. If we do that, I think it's straight to the races.
Well, he's not wrong, but at the same time, I'm not sure if Bitcoin should be $200,000 right now. But I'll take it. I will take it. We got more, guys. QT is ending. QE is coming. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
I think QT ending on December 1st is historic. And it was well telegraphed, so no one should be surprised that it ended. But I think it's historic because, in a way, it really, really signals the beginning of a new era of what the role of the Fed is in the monetary policy toolkits it's been able to build upon since. So we used to call the Fed the lender of last resort. And I think what we're now going to have to admit is, with the adoption of the standing repo facility that's been put in place during the QT era or thereafter, where it is essentially now the lender of continuous resort, right? I mean, just yesterday on December 1st, it was tapped for close to $14 billion, like for liquidity purposes. Like the day QT ended, the Fed just intervened. It used to be a big deal. And now the Fed just intervenes every day. So the role of monetary policy that is now being conducted in this regime, which is basically what, when Fed governors talk about the ample reserve system, is like, this is the future of the Fed. We don't want to go back to a scarce reserve system. We're not going to be in an abundant reserve system, but we're in this now ample reserve system where we have now believed that $6 trillion is like the right amount of balance sheet capital for the Fed to be maintaining and actually having unlimited capital on standby upon the request of the banks. And that means you're basically muting the possibility of there ever being like a financial crisis. You're muting price discovery and liquidity discovery. And so, yeah, I think QT ending alongside having the standing repo facility in place is a totally new regime. And this should matter to most investors because historically, those who have looked at the Fed acting as a lender of last resort to step in when there's tremendous volatility in the market, the structure that we have now inherited is that we may not really see that kind of volatility again. Like something will break differently, and it will have to break, I think, much more astronomically because of the capacity for what this means. And in that sense, it doesn't surprise me that the equity market will continue to go up. If you really think the whole play for a while was you needed the equity market to kind of participate in price action where you saw liquidity breaks, like we're just going to see less of these liquidity events.
Does Bitcoin go up because QT ended?
I think Bitcoin will go up when there's another acronym that comes out of the Scrabble board that the Fed has to rediscover to create a new emergency and intervention program. And I think part of why QT ending is a good deal is because now everyone can go back to the drawing board and figure out what the next thing is going to break.
He's partially right. DH, I disagree. The Fed's isn't. How dare you disagree? How dare you? Dave, what's up, man? Shook, my guy. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We got to get you back in for another episode of Blockchain Buzz, my guy. Strawberry Dragon in the house. What's going down, guys? Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe. Milk Money says, what's up? Ready for open mic? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. What do we have, guys? We have 50 likes. We're halfway there. Whoa! We're halfway. That was terrible tuning, but let's see what's next, guys. Little Bon Jovi for you. Little John Bon Jovi for you. Get your Friday night started right. Dormant Bitcoin wallets move 2,000 Bitcoin after 13 years. Two long-standing Bitcoin OG wallets dormant for over 13 years moved 2,000 Bitcoin valued at format number, I'm not going to read that, million to new addresses, according to On-Chain Lens. The transfer of these legacy Bitcoins highlights ongoing market intrigue with historical crypto holdings, yet lacks immediate trading impact as broader crypto trends remain stable. Two historic Bitcoin wallets transferred 2,000 Bitcoin to a new address after over 13 years. This move is associated with the Caucasus, whatever. The original coins. We have a rich history in the crypto space. However, the identity of the wallet holders remains unknown due to synonymous monitoring. The market saw no immediate liquidity changes from this transfer, indicating the coins are not yet sold on exchanges. The event highlights the rarity of such movements, but also not affect the long-term trends of Bitcoin. Community discussions on social media focused on the motives behind the move. Despite heightened speculation, no official statements have emerged. So we've seen these two massive whale wallets move 2,000 Bitcoin. OG wallets. Imagine buying Bitcoin below probably in the dollar range and now moving it potentially to sell. So could we see some selling pressure on the markets with these whale wallets? I kind of hope so personally. I know a lot of people just, they want the market to go up, but I want to buy more, guys. I don't know. Call me selfish. Right? That's just how I feel about it, right? That's just how I feel about it. What else do we have? It's not going to be an incredibly long stream, guys, because I know you guys got open mic Friday night tonight. But get inspired by Robert Kiyosaki's latest insights on gold and Bitcoin. Robert Kiyosaki, one of the most read finance authors globally, is renowned for his record-breaking book sales and bold statements on Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Recently, he shocked the world by announcing that he had sold his Bitcoin holdings. However, his latest revaluation about gold, accompanied by a reassurance that he hasn't turned his back on Bitcoin, has captured considerable attention. Gold recently reached new all-time highs before pausing, allowing silver to take the lead. Historically used as money, these precious metals are again attracting significant attention. Throughout the years, Kiyosaki has endorsed Bitcoin, gold, and silver as real currencies to his readers. This year, all three assets have achieved historic peaks. In his latest announcement, Kiyosaki discussed a new gold-backed currency being developed by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. He predicted the decline of the US dollar, declaring its days are numbered. Recently, Trump threatened South Africa with exclusion from the G20 and severe repercussions for BRICS. Yet yesterday's Putin definitely announced strengthened financial ties with India in response to Trump's threats. Putin's reaction was not what the world had come to expect. Unexpectedly, Robert Kiyosaki included Ethereum in his list of recommended assets. This week, BlackRock CEO predicted an inevitable adoption of tokenization. Ethereum captures attention in tokenization discussions, given that trillions of dollars asset managers launch tokenized initiatives on the Ethereum network. As a result, it has already achieved billions in assets, with BlackRock CEO affirming that the future lies in this technology. Kiyosaki, who sold his Bitcoin holdings to invest in real estate for rental income, has shown renewed interest in crypto with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Significant changes are anticipated, and considering recent global events, we can expect more surprising developments in our generation. Me too, Rob. I'm kind of selfish. I want to buy more ZBIC. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Quicksilver says, thank you for the advice, man. I got to make it through one cycle at least. You got this, brother. You got this, man. You got the shakes that'll make them quake. You got the fries that'll cross their eyes, brother. Just hold on tight, because she is a wild ride, guys. She's a wild ride. Let's get over to Squawk Box, see what's going on over there. I'm not a huge buyer of this broadening market, says Nuveen's Syria Milk.
The broader markets to bring in Nuveen's CIO, Sarah Malik. And
that's what I said.
We're shifting gears entirely. No jobs number today. Are you excited about next week, or when is it? The 16th, I think, is when we finally get an employment report.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting day of catch up on employment data. And maybe that'll help us out because we've gotten a Thanksgiving rally. But the question is, will we get a Santa Claus rally? And I think that's debatable because catalysts are hard to find. We're watching for three things later this month. First is the Fed rate decision, but that's 100% priced in at this point. So I think markets completely expect it. Second is momentum stocks, which tend to be weak in December on a seasonal basis. Momentum stocks have actually been down 10 of the past 11 years. So it's not surprising to see that weakness this month. And third, of course, is the broader labor market. It's been hard to disprove the weakness in the labor market. So that's what we think is going to cause this market to be choppy here. But the good news is going into 2026, I see some positives. First of all, earnings growth for next year. Consensus is at about 11%. So it should be another strong year. Second of all, new Fed chair should be dovish and continue on those rate cuts. And of course, we're going to get some tax relief for the consumer. So those are the catalysts for next year.
So what's the forward multiple in your view with AI and in the Mag 7 and without AI in the Mag 7? And should we say, hey, look, we got to accept a higher multiple because it's so great what's going to happen with AI?
Well, with Mag 7, of course, the multiple for the market is much more at a premium. What the good news is, what we have seen recently is the market has broadened out. Just this week, small caps, financials, all of them having a bit of a catch-up trade, but we are still bullish on AI. The question mark is there is, of course, when will that spending turn into productivities for companies? There could be an air pocket for that, but I'm not counting the December and recent performance as a really bad sign because, first of all, those stocks tend to be seasonally weak around this period, and that usually lasts through about the beginning or middle of January. So I'm not surprised to see those stocks weak. I think that AI is alive and well. It will continue to be brought into business models and create productivity for companies. So this broadening market, I'm not a huge buyer of it. I think it's actually time to look at some of these AI stocks that look cheaper. One that we like, of course, is Alphabet. We think not only are they a strong AI play, but they have the upside from Waymo and YouTube.
How many more cuts do we get, Sarah, and do you care?
I do care. I think we get one more cut this month. 25 basis points is priced in. Next year, we're predicting 3 cuts. Timing of that is uncertain, probably depends on inflation versus the labor market. I think the big surprise of 2025 is everybody was talking about inflation spiraling upward. It has not done that. It's been stable, which has been good news. The narrative for 2026, of course, is the weakness in the employment market. So we'll see if that plays out. I think consumer strength could offset that. And also, so much talk now about focusing on affordability for consumers could be another positive for the markets. But I do think 3 rate cuts next year, maybe a little bit slower on the cuts in the first half. But I think when we get that new Fed chair, you'll get at least a couple more rate cuts out of 2026 in the second half.
I agree. I tend to agree with that. All right, what else do we have? Oh, you know what? Let's go over here because Beast Mode says Russell 2000 looking pretty dang good. That's some hopium. Yes, exactly. The Russell looking juicy, guys. Bouncing off resistance once again here, the all-time high. Gotta break through, baby. Gotta break through, right? But right now, sitting at resistance. We'll see what happens. That's a weekly time frame. Okay, what else do we have? Ethereum loses 25% of validators after the upgrade. The network nears a critical failure. The bug that occurred just after the Fusaka update caused a massive drop of validators on Ethereum. The crypto network has just come close to losing finality, which could have paralyzed layer 2s, bridges, and dexes. More details in the following paragraphs. Shortly after the activation of the upgrade, a Prism client malfunction caused the production of obsolete states. Results, nearly 25% of validator nodes went offline. Oof. Ethereum then fell below the critical 75% voting participation threshold, dangerously approaching the supermajority threshold at 66.6%, which is a third. This is essential to maintain the crypto network finality. The emergency fix based on The disable last epoch target's flag quickly restored synchronization validation, thus returned to nearly 99% within the following hours. However, this instability raises serious questions about Ethereum network's robustness, especially in case of a bug in a dormant consensus client. I have a feeling you will be wrong again. Rod, I will be wrong again 1 billion times over before I die, brother. Absolutely. I wish I was always right. The massive staking on Prism proved to be the systemic risk. If the bug had affected Lighthouse, which controls over 50% of validators, Ethereum would likely have lost its finality. This scenario would have caused block withdrawals, frozen roll-ups, and potential chain reorganization. The bug not only highlights a technical flaw, it also exposes a structural weakness. Ethereum client diversity, despite repeated warnings since 2021, Prism still holds a major share of the validators. The data shows a peak at 22.71% before the incident. After the crisis, this share dropped to 18%. I have a feeling you'll be right again, too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will be right again, too. Yes. Where was I here? Okay. In any case, the latest alerts on Ethereum show that technical decentralization can no longer remain a pipe dream. Faced with increasing risk, the community must strengthen its resilience to guarantee the security of all actors in the ecosystem. Ethereum needs to be just a wee bit more decentralized, guys, when it comes to the validators. That was dangerous. Senator Ricketts' Safe Chips Act codifies what the Trump administration's current policy already is.
Block the Trump administration from easing curbs on AI chip sales to China. Joining us right now to discuss this, Senator Pete Ricketts of Nebraska. What kind of support do you have on your side for this argument at this point?
Well, good morning. So this is a bipartisan bill. So not only is it being introduced by myself and Chris Coons, but we've got Democrats Jeanne Shaheen and Andy Kim, and the Republicans Tom Cotton and Dave McCormick. And actually what this bill does is actually just codify what the Trump administration's current policy already is. So it says that we're not going to sell the high-end AI chips to China, like the Blackwell chips, for example. It gives the Secretary of Commerce the authority to review this after 30 months and update the standards of what we're going to do. So it really is just taking what the Trump administration is already doing it and giving it the force of law, putting it as a statute so that it's got really more long-lasting effect to it.
So what do you make, though, of this argument that Jensen Huang of NVIDIA has made repeatedly, which is effectively you want to win by effectively crowding out the others, meaning if you don't give them the chips, Huawei and everybody else both will have an incentive to make the chips, which they have anyway, but you're already seeing them daisy chain some of these things together to get the kind of similar output that some of the top chips from NVIDIA can create.
Well, first, a couple of points, right? Xi Jinping has said he wants to dominate AI by 2030. So his goal is already to make sure he is not dependent on the United States for chips or anything else for that matter. And they've already dumped $150 billion in trying to make that happen. So they are working rapidly to make sure they're not going to be dependent on us. No matter what we do, they are going to try to do that. If they didn't need these chips, they wouldn't smuggle them in. So they still are dependent on us for these chips. And if you think about, well, what's the whole key to dominating AI? It's really three things. It's the people, which we've demonstrated we've got to innovate. Now we got to be careful because communist China can create 27 million, engineers over a decade. So they got a lot of people they can throw at this. The second thing is power. They're building power left and right. They've built, they got 33 nuclear power plants under construction with 43 more being planned. In 2022, they were permitting 2 new coal plants every week. So they are developing power quickly. But the third thing is the compute power. Do you have the chips that can actually generate the kind of power that they need? And they do not have them. So we want to make sure that they don't catch up in that category. Right now, our chips are 5 times more powerful. We produce 10 times or more what they can produce. So we want to keep that lead. And by, again, making sure that we keep the high-end chips and we're not allowing these high-end chips to go to China is one of the ways we can maintain that dominance in AI.
In terms of the economics of this all, do you think there's any value to trying to sell the flip side of this is, in the Trump administration, I think this calculates into it a little bit, has talked about, should NVIDIA sell these chips and the U.S. government collect a piece of it? Is that, what do you make of that prospect?
Well, I'll let NVIDIA, that sounds like something that NVIDIA can work out with the United States government. I don't want to get in the middle of that right now. I think what we want as a government, what are we in the business of? We're in the business of securing the American people, right? We're trying to keep people safe. How do we keep people safe? Well, we keep the United States safe by making sure Xi Jinping doesn't come to dominate the world. Here's the risk we run if we give them these AI chips. If China does dominate AI, we will be using their models, their applications, and their authoritarian values. If we win this AI race, it's going to be our models, our applications, and our values. So we already know, for example, in their AI models, that they censor things that they don't want people to know, that they're going to put their thumb on the scale about how this looks. That's not the kind of world we want to live in. So we want to make sure that our models are the ones that are dominating. We want to make sure it's our tech stack that's being distributed around the world. And the way we do that is slow communist China down so they can't dominate, they can't win.
Senator, I don't want to live in a world that Facebook and Twitter were living in under the Biden administration either. So I wouldn't just blame, would you? So, I mean, depending on who's calling the shots, we're not completely free of blame in this country either. So I don't know how you do it properly. I mean, well, you know what I'm saying? You remember what you could and couldn't talk about 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true that we saw that censorship and the weaponization of the Justice Department under Biden. We also saw they had a really bad philosophy of how they wanted to do it. I mean, the Biden administration wanted to have like just 3 AI companies that they could control. That would undermine our very advantage in innovation. This is why we're winning, because we innovate. We've got a free market. And this is why
had a ministry of truth. We almost had a person, a total whack job in charge of the Ministry of Truth. Remember that?
And the difference is we have elections so we can change bad policies. China does not have that. Xi Jinping is going to continue to pursue their bad policies. But we got to that's what we have to understand is they're not a free market, right? We're not competing on a level playing field. So we can't give them the AI chips.
He's got a lot of good points there. He's got a lot of good points. I'll give him that. Let's go back over to the Bitcoin chart. What do we have here? Possible down before rate cuts? Yeah, possibly. Elon Musk in the house, my guy, my dude, my brother from another mother. What's happening, my guy? What's cracking? Just chilling like a villain, All right, guys, I'm gonna release you here for the open mic night. Wise Mind says I'm still loving the discounts. Bye. Let's go NSYNC style. Little Justin Timberlake for you. Bye. This is the Justin Timberlake deal of a century, guys. All right, get over there, guys, to the Patreon. It is 50% off right now. Join the open mic Friday night. Book your coaching calls. Watch our live streams. Check out our trades. We drop 4 new trades every single day. I dropped 4 more today. All that and more, guys. Again, 50% off. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. Don't miss this annual Christmas deal because we only do it once a year, baby. Lock it in. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.